Hi, I'm Susan Kennard, and welcome to the Spiritual Awakener podcast. This is a show where I get to interview cool people about their lives and where they've had a turning point or a spiritual awakening in their life that has led them to help you, the community, and the collective to understand more about who you are, but also to heal your own journey. So I'm really excited to be here today with my next guest. Her name is Jane Long, and she's going to tell you all about who she is and what her turning point was in her life that led her to help you. Hi, Jane. Morning. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you very much. How are you?
Good. Yeah, good. Great.
Good. And thank you for having me here today. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. So what, Jane, do you think was your turning point or your spiritual awakening that happened that made you realize that you were so much more than this physical body and this mind?
I think I've had a few, if you like. It's come in stages, in ripples. And, as a child, I was always a daydreamer and, given that label. As I went on to become, I'm a reflexologist and well-being practitioner. And through that time, I've always been told I've got healing hands and all that, and that sort of information I always just take on board and I think, great, I'm glad I can help people. It hasn't really sunk in. And then it wasn't until I came down to Eastbourne, like after my divorce. I'd been living in London and having the babies in London and all that. Came down to Eastbourne with the children, and I found a numerologist, and I went for a session with her, with this lovely lady. And she told me through the session that I'm a number 11, which I'd never heard of before, but that means you're...
And ironically, it's the 11th of May, literally, that we're talking on. Yeah.
And so that's all new information to me, and I just took it on board. And she was talking about, indigo child and all that kind of thing. And it was a lovely session as well. And I have trouble staying grounded as well.
Yeah.
So at the end of the session, she took me to Littlington Crystal Shop. This is a local place.
I know
so lovely. And so she introduced me to that, which is a place I go to sometimes. I've never been into crystals and such, but they are lovely things to have around. So that was a lovely experience, and just information that I'd taken on board while I'm trying to resettle myself into life, and then life continues. And I was giving Reiki treatments as well, because I've been doing...
So I just want to go back a bit. So if you don't know what numerology is, so essentially it's sort of, I'm not a numerologist, neither is Jane, but essentially it's looking at the numbers of the birth date that you chose to come in on and your name, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, your name as numbers. So it's a
your
set
life path
in life, and so you only get to have one session in life, really, because that is your story told through your numbers, basically. So I'd had this session and what it means to me and all that kind of thing. It's fantastic. It's an enlightenment, if you like,
I love
insight to life. So I've mentioned I'm a reflexologist. I'm a holistic.
And what is that? So just if people are listening for the first time and don't know what that is, what is that?
It's a theory where the foot provides a map for the rest of the body. So during the treatment, I'm applying pressure to various reflex points, and they correspond to specific parts of the body. It helps to alleviate any tension felt in that area, helps to move energy, basically. And reflexology can be not just on the feet. It's not treated just on the feet. It's on the hands, face, foot and ear, so your extremities.
Amazing. It's so cool, isn't it?
It is. And
our body would be connected that way.
And your message, your body is constantly giving you messages in a variety of ways, but one of those ways is through your extremities. And I feel for different sensations, under the skin, or colours, or temperatures, all that sort of thing, really. And also a lot of listening as well. You've got to listen to your clients as they come in and see what they present, and treat them in a certain way. I mean, when you're trained, there's a set
way of doing
it, but I tend to now do quite bespoke treatments, and my clients say, it's never the same treatment, Jane. I'm like, well, you've come with different things
intuitively.
Really, and that's what works. And my job has always, I've realized this more recently, but my job is to bring people into, that real relaxation, like that state of bliss, if you like, find your bliss point. That's where the healing happens.
Yes.
Where the growth happens. That's where connecting with yourself happens as well.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to sort of encompass, how to say that, and that's what it is. But people get off the couch, go, oh, that's so amazing, Jane, and stuff. And I'm like, remember how you feel now.
Yes.
Because, despite what happens in life when you're out there and it all gets on top, you can go back to this feeling.
Bottle it. What we need to be able to do is to bottle it, don't we?
Yeah, because
we need to be able to bottle it into this little bottle and always be able to have it with us.
Exactly, because that is tapping into your source, even if it's a little bit. You've got there, you've got to that point of calm and center, and that's where the creativity and the love and the joy, that's where it all is. And that's what I do for my clients each time they come, is in no matter what form. So I should just say that I'm a reflexologist, holistic massage therapist, although I don't do that anymore. I do a thing called sensory therapy massage, which is clothes on for stress and anxiety. Reiki, but I've now gone on to the Rohani healing, which I find I resonate with a lot more. And now I'm EFT, and I'm doing my training to be a mindfulness coach.
Brilliant. So it's all encompassing. So
it is really
the mind, body and the soul.
Absolutely. To work with the emotions, because I've found with reflexology, which I've done for many years, as I say, people get off the couch, they have that feeling, but I need to teach them how to keep that feeling going, how to tap into that bliss point when they need it. So
yes, exactly.
That's really where I'm going at the moment. So
that sounds amazing. So can you take us back to, so you were saying when you had that numerology reading, you, before that though, we have many things that happen in our life. I talked about mine in episode 1, if you want to hear my spiritual awakening. It's episode 1, and I was 27, but I'm sure way before that there were things in my life that led me. And my mum used to say I would walk down the garden and I'd be singing, I'd be talking to, and I think I was talking to the nature spirits. Even before I even knew I had the channel and I was a medium, which was way later. So what do you think, what kind of person were you as a child?
Oh, as I say, a total daydreamer, and, fairies and all that sort of thing, like very imaginative in my head. And now when you look back, and if we're talking in these this kind of circumstance, then I could easily relate that to be a similar story to you. I didn't have an imaginary friend in the sense of what people see it, like they weren't sitting at the table with me and there wasn't items around to make it more real, but I definitely had these characters around me, which was an absolute comfort to me as well, which I don't think many people, maybe my family don't even know that, but I was in absolute heaven there. I used to love it.
But did you feel, because I definitely was very different to my family. Well, we're all the same, we're all soul having a human experience, right? But I think, it was almost like I was cut from a different cloth, if you can say it like that. No one else was really like that.
Yes. My family, I think, they're very more academic, my family, than me. So I've gone down the different route. I've come from, I hope it's flattering to them. They are a very intelligent family, and I have that same kind of desire for information and to learn that way. But my family go that way, and I go around the houses, and I pick up all these different things. But again, they're creative in their own ways, if you like. And I think that. So
would you say they're more left brain, sort of more analytical left brain?
And they need They need answers. They really need answers. Where I do need answers, if you like. I do, like with the reflexology, for example. I qualified, and then it took a year before I actually went out and did it as a job, because
you were testing.
I had to question it, and the same. With the Reiki as well, so hear all these things. Like people say, Jane, you've got angels around you, you've got this, and I'm doing Reiki shares and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's information that I have. It's not until I can't see these angels. I need.
Is it about embodying it? Is it about sort of feeling that you can really? Because there might be people listening to this that have been told, I mean, this podcast is called The Spiritual Awakener. And so the conversations on here are quite spiritual, but it might be that you're listening to this for the first time and that you're finding, perhaps you're in lockdown because we're recording this on the 11th of May, 2020, and the world is going through an interesting awakening. So if you're listening to this for the first time, and you might have been told that you have this gift, or you've got angels around you, or your guides are around you, but you're the same. You can't see them, you can't sense them. But that doesn't mean they're not there, does it, Jane?
No, I mean, and the amount of times I've been told, I mean, it is good to question things, but just relax into it, so I embrace it and think, well, good for me if I've got angels.
Yeah.
And the time when I really accepted it, if you like, was when I discovered the Rohani healing, and that's through friends who had trained in it, and I was receiving treatments. And it'd be times when, they'd have their hands on my shoulders, and yet my feet were being held at the same time. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing, I
used to teach Rohani, actually.
Yes.
And I feel like it's, for those of you listening, there are many people all over the world that do teach this modality. And it's really about connecting with your soul's mission. I feel that the levels of that took me to different places those years ago. And I think if you're listening to this and you feel drawn to Rohani, then it's really because you're drawn to really step into your mission properly, I would say.
And also receiving the treatments was different from Reiki for me, okay? Because I know a lot of Reiki, master Reiki practitioners who give I've had really wonderful Reiki treatments, but the Rohani for me was, as I say, I could feel more, plus a much more visual, much more vivid. And
do you find that it's like a finer vibration? I think the thing is, Reiki came in on the third dimension. So the Reiki came in a very grounded 3D. And it's brilliant and really helpful for people to awaken them. But Rohani came in on the fifth, and it's a finer vibration, not better, not worse, not anything, just a finer vibration. So that's when your vibration is just that little bit more receptive of it, isn't it?
It is.
That's
absolutely.
So we're in the UK. There are many people listening all over the world here, and you may be listening to this on video, on my YouTube channel, on Jane's social media platform, whatever, and mine. If not, you're listening to on iTunes or Stitcher or another podcast platform. And so if people are all over the world, can they still work with you, Jane? Or is this something that is really for UK base?
No, people can work all over the world with me, because I am teaching people to connect with themselves. So
brilliant.
Since my work has changed since the lockdown. Basically, this has been a blessing for me, because it's the first time that I've been able to stop. Since I came down to London from London like 6 years ago, I hit the ground running, and I didn't stop. So I've been carrying on. And I've had so many ideas, and now they're coming into fruition. So at this moment, my website doesn't replicate the work that I am actually doing, but it's changing. And as I mentioned, I'm doing EFT and mindfulness. So that's
which can all be done on Zoom,
online.
It's like there's no distance, there's no barrier.
Not at all. I mean, I've been treating people already with the EFT. And also I am bringing a group together called Connections with Calm Therapy. So that will be a group of people who want to do stuff, and we'll be having monthly meetings via Zoom, and it'll be support throughout the month and all that. So that's people who want to work in a group thing.
And how can they find you on that? How can they find you?
That's still the work in progress at the moment, everyone. So but it will be on my website. So keep an eye on my website, which is www.calmtherapy.co.uk, and I will have it over my social media as well.
Which is your name, or as Calm Therapy? How do people find you on social media?
So at the moment, my Facebook is Calm Therapy Eastbourne, which is where I live. And Instagram is Calm Therapy Reflexology, calm underscore therapy underscore reflexology.
But if they put your name into Google, Jane.
If you put Calm, all the links for my social media is on my website, so you can
brilliant
there. So I use Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram mostly. So, you know, and I'm always happy to chat with people as well, you know, whether it's...
I was going to say, so if you're feeling kind of stressed at the moment and you feel like you need to just get some help with that and really connect, as Jane's saying, she's talking about reconnecting, really, like reconnecting with yourself. And if you feel that you need that and you feel drawn to this, then they can have a chat with you, can't they?
Exactly.
Before committing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just have a chat, and then we can just talk through things, and then we can talk about doing some work together if we feel it's the right thing. But I think the whole point is, especially with this virus, you know, this is a long-term situation we're in, and the more we can be present with ourselves, the more we can take ourselves out of the over chatter, you know. And this is a work in progress for me as well, you know. I practice this all the time, and we're always learning. So, but if I can help people just get to that point of, you know, being still and being in that moment where they can heal and grow as well, then you know, your quid's in. Basically, you are going to be just vibrationally happier. You're going to feel more calm around what's going on, and clarity of mind, it's absolutely key at the moment. Make those right choices.
There's so many different thoughts at the moment as well, like, you know, if you're somebody that listens to the news, or if you're somebody who listens to other people, really, I think the key is definitely that if you can come within and listen to your own sense of what feels right to you, I think is the key at the moment, isn't it? And that is that connection.
It is. It's you're connecting with yourself, and then being with like-minded people as well. You know, it's you need to have your tribe around you. You need the community as well. So that's what I am creating as well. And also I created the initial thing that I created that was immediately after lockdown, because I went into my state of fear and shock. You know, I had to cancel clients, all that. And I just felt sick with it. And then I had to stop myself and say, well, hang on a minute, I'm a holistic therapist. You know, I practice self-care. I preach it to my clients. And so I went through a day of a breathwork sequence. I did reflex points on my hands, and I went through EFT. And it wasn't working at that time, but it wasn't until the next day I woke up. I felt so much fresher and brighter. So my situation hadn't changed, you know, we were still in this situation, but the way I felt about it,
which is the key,
game changer. And then from that came my idea of conversations with calm therapy. So like you're interviewing people. Well, I am doing the same, and that was to bring business owners together. So
conversations with calm therapy.
So I've been interviewing like business advisors and complementary therapists, and I ask them the same 3 questions, and they answer from their area of expertise.
Amazing.
But it's from that, but it's also to provide the viewers with a resource of how to cope through sudden change, how to cope with fear, and what do we do when we're in lockdown. So that idea wouldn't have come unless I brought myself back in to balance and tapped into my creativity and cleared my mind. So
listening.
That's how I plan to keep on working, everybody.
I love that, and I'm looking forward to coming on conversations with therapy.
Absolutely.
That's really exciting. And if you're listening to this, you can find that, and I've seen it on LinkedIn, definitely.
Yes, YouTube channel now, so you can search
YouTube channel.
Conversations with Calm Therapy is on YouTube. And I put it on my social media as well. So
excellent.
So I've had guests like a family and relationship coach, a business strategist, a life coach who helps dads to stop over drinking alcohol, which is important at this time because people are reaching, or not just alcohol, you know, other things that they're comforting themselves with, you know.
Absolutely.
These are important messages that people are giving out, because there is support out there, and that is the key.
I love that. I think that's really good. So if you're listening to this and you know, you might be the other side of the world, you might be wherever you are, you can still connect with Jane, and you can literally connect with Jane, and you can find her Conversations with Calm Therapy on YouTube. And I have seen it across LinkedIn as well. I've liked it across LinkedIn, and it's on her Facebook as well. And you can listen to this episode on YouTube, but across your usual podcast platform. So Jane, what would you say was the takeaway that people could get from this, of what's going on at the moment and really connecting with themselves? What's the takeaway you could give people?
I think just be mindful of your perspective, really. Just be aware of your reactions, really. Just, you know, be responsible for your reactions, and you can feel happy during all this. I know there's a lot of terrible things, you know, happening. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of people are passing away, and you know, in unpleasant circumstances, but the more you keep yourself on that vibration, on that more positive vibration, you know, the better things will be. You know, we are spreading out that message, if you like, that way we feel. That's contagious in itself, you know, and it can help to keep society, you know, on a more even keel, I think, really. So it is that's why I'm so positive, so passionate about, you know, the connection with people, you know, connecting with people and connecting with yourself. It's where it all comes from. So just be mindful how all this information and all this news is affecting you. Being in a state of fight and flight affects your immune system in a negative way. It ages, you know, helps age you, all that. So just really just, you know, keep on it, just keep out there and keep open and bright and light, everybody. Yes.
Wow. So that's it, you know. So if you want to get a hold of Jane, thank you, Jane, so much. I can't believe we've come to the end of our interview already. The time flies. So if you want to get a hold of Jane, you can find her on Calm Therapy. Is it .co.uk?
.co.uk, and my email is jane@calmtherapy.co.uk.
And YouTube channel.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is Conversations with Calm Therapy, and on Facebook, you go to Calm Therapy Eastbourne, you'll find me, and Instagram is calm_therapy_reflexology, but you'll find the links to all my
on your website.
On my social media.
On your website.
all these ways of connecting. So it's brilliant.
Jane, thank you so much for coming on The Spiritual Awakener.
Lovely.
So if you've got a spiritual awakening story or a turning point that's happened in your life and you want to share it with me and my listeners, I'd love to hear from you. So find me on susankennard.co.uk or susan@susankennard.co.uk, where you can send me an email, across all social media at the same name, Susan Kennard. And if you want to hear my story, where I spiritually awakened, go to episode 1. Much love for now, and see you on the next episode of The Spiritual Awakener.